Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for choosing this channel. I want to appreciate you so much for the support that you always offer to this channel. It is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you well wherever you are. Dr. Aukot is coming out with a very shocking news here, which I must share with you for us to understand. This is whatever Aukot is saying, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Aukot, it is obvious he was never forgiven. The appointment was and now seen to have been a smokescreen. The government critic is saying you could feel the wrath, bitterness and anger in the voice of President William Ruto directed to General Francis Ogola. All I can say is that Luos won't take this lightly. That comes from Aukot. So why do you think Aukot is coming out with this bombshell? This only appears after a day we saw the late General Francis Ogola involved on a chopper accident. As we know that death always involves in different ways. It might be a road accident, it might be a chopper clash, it might be oceans, lakes, rivers, or you might be shot. We describe it as death. But at the end of this, we realized there are so many questions, there are so many answers coming across for people to understand what causes the death. So Aukot is coming out and saying that Francis Ogola's death should be checked properly, looked and observed by those who deserve it, and is calling upon the government to be serious and check what took place at the end of the chopper to clash, of which we believe as we speak the government begins to check what might causes the death of the sergeant at arms, the generals, and even up to the KDF boss, Francis Ogola. But at the end, we will realize that they will it was just maybe chopper had a problem, the helicopter had a problem, human error is always there. The clip that I am going to display is very clear that President Ruto had no option but to give a chance to the CDF, the late Francis Ogola. He had no option because it was well planned and well advised by even the ex-military commander of Defense Forces, Tonje. I know people can come out and say several things which at the end of the day or at the end of our life in this world, we will just say those are part of life.
I appointed General Ogola. General Ogola is among the people who went to bomb us to try and overturn my victory. Do you know that? But because when I looked at his CV, he was the best person to be general. I called him and I sat him down. I told him, my friend, you went to bomb us to try and overturn my victory. But because you are the best person to be general, I'm going to give you the job. That is how it works with me. That's why I told you, if a person has the qualification, if he is the best for the job, I will give him the job.
But that is the military. There's a code of conduct for the military and how politics works in Kenya, Mr.
Let me tell you, my friend, I had the opportunity. I could have appointed anybody. I had, I think, 10 choices. I didn't have to. You know, there are people who say, oh, you know, William Ruto appointed Ogola because he was the deputy CDF. That's not the case. I made the decision consciously. And I made the decision against the advice of many people. Many people told me, you should not give this, you should not reward this kind of behavior.
Okay.
But, you know, I also must be sensitive. What exercised my mind? This gentleman has a good track record. And in fact, when I spoke to him, and it's not something that I should be talking about, but because you have asked a good question. What exercised my mind is, this gentleman, yes, he may have made a mistake. Maybe because the commander-in-chief that time told him what to do. Maybe he... And when I talked to him, he told me, I have no defense. He told me, I have no defense. You do with me whatever you want. I cannot defend. It was wrong. What I did was wrong. Yeah? I am also conscious. My good friend Ayub, I'm also conscious that since independence, there is nobody from Nyanza who has ever been CDF. And it also played in my mind that I don't want a situation where a whole community think they cannot occupy a certain office. So many things that are part of my system overweighed the mistake he had done.
Okay.
You know, so I want to tell you that I make very sensitive appointments. I make very deliberate appointments. Many of the appointments, of course, that do not have to directly require my signature.
Video is the writing which the government critic, which have been done by Aukot, is meant for. It's saying that while Ruto was speaking, he was having wrath in himself, bitterness and anger in the voice of President could have been seen in an interview which was done for. I can say that Ruto was just having bitterness because he was not expecting to win the General August election 2022. Death is always there. Every person will die. Even if there's something secret which we don't know, which is beyond us, but we will just say or generalize that all human beings must die. It depends with your time. It depends on how it will come up to you. So we want to put this Aukot, break this Aukot writing into analysis. Before I carry on, ladies and gentlemen, may I take this golden chance to thank the new subscribers for tuning in and subscribing to our channel. I also want to appreciate you so much for your support and thank you very much. And if this might be your first time watching me at Zam Kenya TV YouTube channel, I also request you kindly do me a favor. Take a 1 second and click that subscription button and subscribe to our channel. In that next time when I upload to such kind of a video, the video will automatically come to your YouTube platform. And to the members, I want to appreciate you so much because if it was not your support, then this channel could have not reached where it is as of now. Thank you and thank you very much. Give this video a thumb of like. Let's proceed. Aukot is overreacting. That is my first observation. Aukot have a quick judgment. Because if he's saying that Ruto never forgiven the appointment, what have shocked me is that how comes you have ideas and interest to propose someone. So Aukot is trying to say that Ruto turned wild to General Francis Ogola, of which I don't want to say it or to dig deep onto that. What I know is that the government had no any other option. The failure of the government, which even Kenyans are saying, is that they didn't have time even to check if the plane was good. The pilot himself also made a mistake by not even raising quick alarm, which involved into a chopper crash. But again, their time had reached. We can't judge beyond this. If your time reaches in this world, you must go. If my time will reach, I must go. If time of every person reaches, he or she must depart. The legacy that I am speaking about is what we ought to understand. This writing of Aukot is so sensitive, very sensitive, and should be questioned. Kenyans are mourning the soldiers or the fallen soldiers who are on a government mission, but almost reaching to the region, things happen abruptly. Of course, they are all human beings. No one can detect his or her death. No one can detect his or her death. Kenyans are still asking more investigation. The government is also doing thorough investigation. What made the chopper to crash? What went wrong? Politicians also are raising a lot of questions like Aukot, demanding and questioning what might be wrong on this move, on this accident of plane crash. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot analyze further on this Aukot bombshell. What I can say is that let's just remain united, let's remain focused, and let's stand with the family members who lost their beloved one on a plane crash. Those are things which happen in this world. Because when you look even the president's speech yesterday, it was a kind of shock he's having in himself. A kind of disbelief, together with this deputy. And all those government officials, even the governors, Orengo also spoke, can tell you that they were not expecting this to happen. But because it is God's plan, let's rest our case at this point. What can you say on this Aukot reasoning? This marks the end of our analysis. Thank you, and may you have a blessed afternoon.